at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at copplecars.com.
With UBT, you've got total control over your money. Like Doug, who runs his game day tailgate like a well-oiled machine.
I got burgers, brats, chicken, dogs, plus all the fixins. And with the UBT Go app, I can track my food spending from anywhere.
Pro move.
They don't call me Grill Sergeant for nothing.
No matter your goals, UBT helps you feel good about reaching them. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Sometimes in life we look for rhythm and consistency. But sometimes life just needs disrupting. Welcome into your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith, founder of The Bay. Join Mike and his local disruptor each week as they surprise people who shape their journey with a phone call. Disrupting your drive time on 93.7 The Ticket. Here is Mike Smith.
What up, Lincoln? Welcome into Drive Time here in the capital city. I'm Mike Smith, live in the studio with a good friend today, Mr. Brent Comstock. Now, there is in sports and in life, there's a few rivalries that just run deep. And one of the deepest rivalries there is that Duke, North Carolina rivalry. And we're talking about it right when we walked in.
Over there. We won't look. I can't look that way.
Austin's a big Duke guy.
I am.
He got his Duke gear on today.
Indeed.
Everybody, when you have a, we're just gonna leave it at BCom. Brent loves North Carolina. I'm also a Duke guy. When you have a team that you root for, that's like when you're a kid, you always remember the first game, the first time, the first one. And I'll never forget mid-90s kid watching Christian Laettner throw the ball or catch the ball, Grant Hill. The shot. It was like, as a kid, there was nothing bigger than that. I used to shave Duke in my head as a kid, like
instead of like a Nike swoosh or anything.
It was No Fear would be one. That was one brand, and then Duke was the other. And those were, I was like committed to it.
Was it spelled the right way or the wrong way?
I couldn't spell either way. It didn't really matter.
That's how they also spelled it.
What was your
D-O-O-K.
Yeah. What was your North Carolina? What was your first North Carolina moment? Do you remember?
So I went to undergrad at UNC, and growing up in Nebraska, everything's football, right? And volleyball now. The winning women.
Volleyball state, baby.
Volleyball state. But it was funny because at the football game at UNC, my freshman year of undergrad, they're like, well, we're going to tailgate, right? And there's like 7 cars and the entire stadium is right there. And they're like, well, anyone can get into a game. I was like, anyone? And the stadium was virtually empty. Then I go around to basketball and I go, oh, anyone can get basketball, right? And they're like, no, you got a tent outside. You got to camp. You got to park your homework there for weeks. And that's when I learned that UNC is a basketball school.
That's different. Very different.
Very different.
It's basketball's so fun. When it's awesome, it's awesome. It's one of the most electric things. And so Brent Comstock, we're going to back it up a second here. So you grew up, I'm going to read a little bio. Everybody's got their own little bio. So when I got yours today, I've known you since I feel like I've known you for a long time. I love our how we met story. We'll get to that in a second. But Brent Comstock is a Nebraska-born business leader. He's also a candidate for the University of Nebraska Board of Regents. That's a big deal and very awesome. He built a nationally recognized advertising media company right here in Lincoln. You've got your office down here in the Haymarket. Also has an office in D.C. and Auburn,
America.
Where it all started, baby. Earning recognition from places like Forbes, Inc. magazine. You also earned a spot on the Forbes 30 Under 30. I think I met you when you were on the 12 Under 12 list back in the day. Raised in Auburn by a plumber and a teacher, Brent he's focused on keeping college affordable, growing enrollment, and building a stronger connection between the University of Nebraska and our workforce issues, which is exactly right. And so really excited to have you. Thanks for coming in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. And so this whole show is talking about being disruptive. I'll never forget the first time that I met you. I was like, got asked to speak at I think it was like Milford College, some conference. I walk in, I go to speak, and there is like a 12-year-old running the show. And I don't know how old you were, but I think you were.
I think I was 15.
15.
14 or 15.
That's what I mean. So like who was clearly in charge was you. And I was like, oh, wow. And you were running a tight ship. Like this thing was organized. This thing was fantastic. I don't know how we ended up connecting or how that worked out.
I told you were the backup speaker, right?
Remind me.
Oh, maybe that's
no. Remind me. Hit me with the story. Yeah, remind me.
So we had this youth leadership conference, and it's Milford, Nebraska. If you're flying in from LA or New York, where most of these speakers come from, when they've got a sick kid or something, the first thing they chop from the list is the place that takes 3 flights to get to type of mentality. And so someone goes, there's this guy in Lincoln that he does some keynote speaking. This is before your big time, this is before you had the little checks on all the social media profiles.
Sure.
And someone goes, there's this guy in Lincoln, you should totally call him. His name's Mike Smith. And I remember Google searching, and I was like, well, it can't be this guy. This guy's got like a skate park. Like, this is not the keynote speaker. And like, nah, he'll come and he'll do it for cheap too. And I remember I was like, we needed a last minute fill in. You came. I still have those pictures. And
the rest is history. I'll take it. I was second choice.
Best speaker though that we had in the 3 years I think that I did that conference.
Sweet. So. I will take that. That. I'm always unexpected. I'm starting with really low expectations when I walk in.
Yes.
So I get to move the needle really far.
Yes.
That's what I've realized.
Yes.
So running businesses, leadership, you started your entrepreneurial journey incredibly young.
Yeah.
Like incredibly young. And so walk us through just how you kind of started BComs from Auburn, small town. You've got such a cool Nebraska entrepreneurship story. And so I've referenced you a lot when I talk on college campuses or when I'm speaking to young entrepreneurs about people who have stayed in Nebraska, built something here that has global impact. And so just start us with kind of how did it start?
Well, it started in Auburn. And I think the important thing, my mom's a school teacher, was a school teacher. My dad's a plumber. Hard work is instilled in everyone that lives in Nebraska. And if you move to Nebraska, you quickly realize that we might not outshine in all of the spotlights and awards that you get when you live on the coast and things like that, but we outwork anyone. And so that was instilled in me early on. And when it came time to think about what I wanted to do, and this was in my teenage years, I wanted to help people. And, this is 15, 20 years ago almost now, thinking about, how do we help bring tech, broadband, rural opportunities to rural communities. And 10, 15 years ago, Amazon wasn't a thing in everyone's home. And so we were originally started as the IT company for all of the church ladies that I went to the United Methodist Church. Shout out to them. And then we started working with businesses, and then that evolved into the marketing and advertising agency that it is today. And we've done work around the country, around the world, but I think the most important thing is the founding of the company was based on do what you can with where you're planted type of mentality. And there's no one that's harder working than my parents. And I knew that I didn't want to go into the family business, which was plumbing and HVAC. I could make all sorts of jokes about that.
It's booming now, though.
It's booming now, I tell you what. But it started in Auburn, and to this day, I care greatly about the people that helped me get started, because there are so many people that have the brains to build an impressive operation, but having the grit and the conviction with people behind you, and all the weird things that I've done in the last number of years, I have never had to doubt that the people in my hometown that helped raise me were part of that. And that's a mentality that I think everyone has in Nebraska. If you grow up, it doesn't matter if you knew the person or not. If you grew up in the same town, they were with you, they were behind you, and they would stop on the side of the road if you needed a spare tire or something. And so I think that's the type of mentality that we've built the company on, and it's been pretty fun to do it.
And so now and you've taken those same work ethic and you've scaled it outside of Lincoln and outside of Auburn. And so kind of you've got offices and
we've got a team in DC, we've got a team here, we've got remote teammates across the country. We do advertising and media communications work. A lot of the work that we do is around impact and influence. So we help nonprofits raise money for capital campaigns. We help celebrities and elected leaders communicate their message. We help businesses dissect complex topics and trying to communicate on social media. And we've done it in dozens of states, and we're still growing.
Oh, I see it. I see you out there. Sometimes you're on flights and I'm like, who's he working with? And it's some celebrity, it's some charity thing, or you've had some really cool clients and done some really cool things. I often, when you travel and you get to see the world, there's always this refreshing thing about Lincoln is home.
Totally.
Like being around the world, being in these places, there's just something so special about. I think you're a Delta guy, if I remember correctly. As a United guy here, I'm just that flight in, coming home, just being here. Like you live right down here in the Haymarket. Your office is down in the Haymarket. But I just know that like being able to travel the world, there's something special about Lincoln, and you've got a ton of pride in this community. I know that's true.
Yeah, no, I moved back here in 2017 after being away for 4 years, and it's the best decision. And frankly, there's never been a point as we've been growing our company, as you mentioned, we've been on 30 under 30, we've been on Inc. 5000 fastest, all these things that people in entrepreneurship and business strive to get. There's never been a point where we've thought in order to keep growing, we have to leave Lincoln.
Right.
Never has that come up. We've added people across the country. It has never once been a prohibitor. Yes, I am a Delta guy, but we can talk about that.
We'll work on it. Yeah, we'll get him. We're trying to get him back. We're trying to get him back. That's so cool. And though, you don't end up on those lists by accident. Like those things aren't easy to get on. And it takes a lot of hard work. It takes a lot of people. And it takes people that believe in us and people that are willing to kind of like work for us. And so can you remember, talk me through some of your first stage, like employees? Who were some of those first people that were like hopped in at the early days?
Well, some of them are still here, thank goodness. So, we hired early on people that could do all sorts of things, because I think the job description of everyone who has ever worked at Beacom has only changed about 37 times because the company has evolved. But I think what's probably most interesting, Neil, who's been my right hand for a number of years, he's just celebrated his 10-year anniversary here. He has a background in agronomy and crop science and grew up in central Nebraska, and is the COO of a company that's doing national advertising work. And I think that just goes in tune with so much of what young people think too, which is that your degree and kind of who you are, it's more about the work ethic that shapes who you are and who you'll become. We have designers that have been on our team for almost 10 years. We have people that started on our team when they were an intern, and now they have moved once or twice, got married, had a couple kids. And for me, as someone who cares greatly about the people that I work with, you can go get a job in marketing or advertising anywhere, especially post-COVID, and work remotely. But having people on the team that care about each other and give a damn about each other, there's no greater feeling than I would assume what it's like, as you're building a family and things like that. And so we've got people all over the country, and it's really fun to bring people that have never been to Nebraska, get them in maybe for game day weekend, and they're like, hell is happening?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like, just wait for it.
Get them the Kool-Aid.
Get them the Kool-Aid. But
they're eating cinnamon rolls and chili and
yeah. And it
time.
is funny because the other day I was just looking through some of our early clients and like, man, we have grown in all sorts of ways. So it's been fun.
Very cool. What are some of those like every business, every team sort of has these like core values and rally cries and things that we sort of like say, hey, this is what we're all about. What are some of those values that BComps has?
Yeah. I mean, one of the not official team values, we've got 5 of them, but one of the not official ones is like, there's no job too small for anyone at the company. And, I think that's akin to if an email needs to be written or if an ad needs to be made, it doesn't matter if you're the CEO or an intern, like we all play an active role in that. And that's, been something that has come from the kind of honest integrity, conviction type of thing that we started with early on. And I think that hasn't changed in a world where there's a lot of noise and a lot of toxic language in social media and online, and you're constantly online, like having that grounding, I think is important.
I love that. And so speaking of kind of the start and people who are there for us at the start, the whole kind of idea behind the show is we want to call people who pushed us, believed in us, were there for us. And so, thinking about early days, you started your entrepreneurial journey so young back in Auburn. We were talking about who's someone who was kind of there at the beginning, and you had someone in mind. And so we are going to ring up a friend of yours. I'm going to see if we can get him on the phone here.
We'll see if we get voicemail or not.
Yeah. Hey, we're looking for Bob. Is Bob Ingalls there?
Speaking.
Bob, this is Mike Smith. You're on your weekly Disrupt here on 93.7 The Ticket. I'm live in the studio with Brent Comstock.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Brent.
What's going on, man?
Hey, things are good here.
You never probably thought that I would be heckling you into doing this. Surprise.
I just hope you can show some restraint and dignity towards me since we're going to be on the air.
So the thing you need to know about Bob and I's relationship is that it is rooted in a lot of camaraderie and a lot of BS back and forth. And so now that I'm running for office, I've realized that I have to, hold back a little bit. And Bob also has to exercise discretion, right, Bob? Because we're on the air.
I will do my best.
We got a 10-second delay if things get crazy up in here. And so, Bob, we're talking about folks who are disruptive and people who kind of have shaped our journey. And you were there, and you've got to remember Brent. I met him when he was 14. You've known him for longer than that. You've got to kind of remember early stage Brent when he was in Auburn. He said your businesses were like next door. Maybe walk me through kind of what you saw in an early doe-eyed, kind of bright-eyed entrepreneur as he was starting his journey off in town.
Well, Brent and I've known each other for, as you said, a lifetime. Actually, I knew Brent before he even started school, and
we went to high school.
He did start his business in Auburn at a Main Street business, a storefront, and it's just a couple doors down from where my business is, which is insurance and real estate. And even though that has been going on for years and years and years, and he still maintains that business there in Auburn, I still don't have any idea what it is he does. It has something to do with computers, something to do with electronics. Digital is a word that comes to mind. But he's always very gracious to me and is very patient to me when I ask him questions about his business.
I love that. Now, Bob, you were the former mayor of Auburn. Is that correct?
Correct.
And I've also got it in my notes here that you are a big baseball guy.
Well, the thing is, I think baseball is just a microcosm of life. And so I just love to create analogies between life and baseball and politics and education and things like that. So, yeah, it's a big part of my life.
What was this the best World Series you've seen in a while, or what were your thoughts on this one?
I got to be honest with you. I'm not a great Major League Baseball fan. I'm a fan of baseball in general, and I love high school level, college level baseball, maybe more than the World Series. But it was a great series.
Got it. So College World Series kind of guy.
Yes.
Awesome. So as if you've helped shape folks in town, you've led a community, you've done a lot of things. Thank you, by the way, for the service and the time. Being a mayor of a town in Nebraska is a badge of honor and something that not everybody gets to say that they did. What are some sort of mindsets or advice that you would have for folks that are listening in on how to kind of just like be a leader, be disruptive, things that, what comes to mind to you?
Well, what I would really recommend people do is just be honest with yourself and don't be afraid to stand up and make comments. If you see something that doesn't sound right, it probably isn't. If it doesn't look right, it probably isn't. And don't sit back and watch those things develop without getting involved. There's nothing wrong with raising your hand, standing up, questioning people that are in authority. And I can remember even in high school, Brent was doing that sort of thing. He was probably a little bit more mature than most of his classmates all through school. So he wasn't afraid to stand up and take a position on anything that might come up.
I love that. Use your voice, stand up, take a position, be bold. All great words of advice. Bob, we appreciate you. I know that when you're someone that pops up on Brent Comstock's list of someone to call that is a meaningful relationship, that carries weight around here for sure.
Well, I hope people recognize that Brent will be a great regent, and he will make decisions not only what's best for UNL, but he'll also include UNO, Kearney, Curtis, and all the things. And he'll make decisions that are in the best interest of the state of Nebraska.
We love it. Appreciate you. Thanks so much for your time.
Thanks, Bob.
My pleasure.
Awesome. You got to love that.
Love
you got to love that. I always wonder what it would like to be like a small town mayor, because know they're doing so much more than, it's like,
and it's volunteer.
Yeah, totally. I can't even imagine.
It's yeah. I mean, you hear about recalls and things like that in towns of 300, 400, 500 people, and on one end you're like, yikes. On the other end, you're like, man, they signed up for vitriol.
Yeah, it's volunteer. And so I've been able to see sort of your work. You've worked with kind of candidates and folks from every possible size of town and party and spectrum and everything. And so you've sort of had to kind of be a jack of all trades when it comes to having conversations with humans about every possible topic. I feel like I've had conversations with you about the entire spectrum of things.
Well, and when we got into this space and started working with candidates, this was 2014, 15. And the reason we did it was we were thinking about how do we have the biggest impact on rural communities in rural Nebraska? Because I'm from rural community, rural broadband and healthcare has been a really important piece of growing rural communities. If you don't have a hospital, if you don't have access to the internet in your community, you're kind of out of luck. And so we saw elected leaders as a vehicle to do that. Those types of topics, healthcare, rural hospitals, those types of things, that's not a partisan leaning thing. Everyone agrees that you should have access to a hospital within a reasonable driving distance and access to broadband. And Bob's a great example of someone who, when I would talk about those things, he was always the first person to stand up and say, yeah, let's do something. And, it transcends party, it transcends generations. And I think that's how you build a good community.
Love that. I love that. It's awesome. It's awesome when you see people stepping up, people caring, people giving back to their community and doing a lot of good things. What's a project you're currently working on besides obviously running for region's huge, but you're running a company. Yeah. You've always got these sort of sneaky, I'm doing this, or I've got this project. It's always like so interesting and meaningful or fun or cool. What's something really fun and interesting you're kind of working on right now that you're excited about?
That's great. Well, right now I'm trying to run the project of stay reasonably sane while running a company and running for office.
Of course.
I think one of the things that I'm passionate about that intersects with all of those different pieces of the puzzle is finding opportunities to engage young people in the work that we do. And that's outside of our internship program and outside of these different things. But I just think, when we were starting the company, we actually did a senior internship, like the movie with Robert De Niro and Anne Hathaway. And I think that intergenerational relationships like Bob is how people become successful outside of the norms of, okay, I work for 10, 15, 20 years, I move up the corporate ladder. And so, we've done that internally at our company, but I'm also thinking about, how do you build those types of relationships with people that transcend politics and generations and age and things like that in mentorship ways. I mean, Teammates, as I know, has been featured here a lot, is one piece of that. It's like, how do you build that? Because when people ask me, how did you build a multi-million-dollar company before you had a college degree and before you could rent a car? It's because of mentors like Bob, a couple mentors of mine that I was really close with that have since passed away, people like the leaders in the community that I interact with. Those are the people that brought me up. And so I think often about how can I play a role in that, whether it's going to college classes like I did this morning and talking to people, or finding people that just need a little bit of guidance, because you don't have to wait until you're 50 or 60 to give back.
Absolutely. And I've noticed that you're constantly involved in a ton of different things. Every time I talk to you, you're doing a bunch of really cool stuff. we're going to continue to dive into some of the awesome things that you've got cooking. We've got another guest we're going to call after this. You're listening to Your Weekly Disrupt. This is 93.7 The Ticket. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock. Perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Salt Mine City is your go-to brewery in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Enjoy a full menu of great items daily for lunch and dinner, like their Big Fatty 7-ounce hamburger or a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, now open 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Come watch the Lincoln Stars on November 7th as the Fargo Force comes to town for $5 Friday. That means $5 mezzanine tickets, $5 nachos, $5 mixed drinks, and $5 off a purchase of $20 or more. It's $5 Friday with the Lincoln Stars at the Icebox on Friday, November 7th versus the Fargo Force. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet.
O Street
Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
The disruption continues now on 93.7 The Ticket. This is your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith Live.
Welcome back. We're here in the studio. We're talking shop. One of the coolest parts about this time of the year is I love the pile up of all of the seasons. You've got basketball, you've got volleyball, you got football, you got all the stuff. Everything's starting to just like really blend together, and it's kind of my favorite time. Do you like it when they set the clocks back? What are your opinions on turning the clocks back?
Well, this might be the most politically charged question that you asked.
Yeah, this is as political as I get. Yeah, this is as political as I go.
My whole thing is I don't want to leave work in the dark. And when you leave work at 5 o'clock, now that we've moved our clocks, it's nighttime. So I don't know. I'm an early person. I get up 4 or 5 in the morning and then stay up until midnight. So I've also got a whole problem that we can unpack. But
not a lot of sleep.
I'm inside a lot.
Yep. You're working a lot.
Have you seen this?
Yes, you're inside a lot. I get that. I've got a 4-month-old. So I'm currently like, everybody was like, oh, it'll matter with your kid when you set the clocks back. They don't care. Like they're not worried about that. They're not worried about that at all.
No,
it's not something that they care about.
My sister just had her 4th kid, and she's been telling me that she's getting used to it. And I'm like, well, you're on number 4. Like, aren't you used to it by now? But we could account for daylight savings time as part of it.
I don't know if you ever get used to it. It's just rough. Shout out to moms out there. It's not easy. You just don't know until you go through it. You don't know what you don't know until you go through it. If you know from the dad gang, shout out dad gang, then you know. But yeah, that's absolutely true. So one of the things that you and I, we've talked projects, we've built pitch decks, we've dreamed ideas, we've done things together. And one of the things that I always appreciate about you is you're committed to this idea that we've got to keep our talented kids that grow up in Nebraska, creating businesses, building ideas here, continuing to make Nebraska the good life and a great place to be. You did that. You're proof of that. What are some things that you think we can continue to do? What are areas you're having conversations in? What does that look like for us? I know you're having this conversation a lot.
Yeah. Well, it's such an important thing because it's a heck of a lot easier to keep people here than to bring them back. And I don't think it's a secret. We started at the beginning of this that I went to undergrad at UNC Chapel Hill, and I didn't know if I was going to come back or not. And I'm glad that I did. I love being here. I have no plans of leaving here, and could talk about that forever. But I think that correlation to once people have seen the grass is greener or isn't it, it's still harder because now you're asking them to return to somewhere that they were before. And so, I tell people all the time when they ask why Nebraska, it's like, well, you've got urban centers, you've got rural opportunities. If you want that nexus between small town, big town, but not too far away, you've got Ashland. Right. And so, I think being proud of the place that we are in convinces people to stay. And I know that we've had tourism slogans that have kind of played off of that in a more self-deprecating way. I'm not going to get into that. We don't have time for that today. But I think the thing is we want to be proud of where we are. You go to New York, you go to LA, you go to Kansas City, and you feel that sense of pride. We have that sense of pride here too, but I think because we're Midwestern and we're so humble, we're kind of like, oh, well, is it better? No, heck yeah, it's better. And if you don't like or don't have an opportunity that you think should exist, you can create it.
Right.
And you can't do that in other places because it's financially prohibitive or because there's so many regulations or things like that. Like, this is an opportunity where if it's not here, make it.
Absolutely. And here you have access immediately to people. Like you can CEOs are easy to get access to, city officials, leaders, like our athletic department. Like these are people who are very easy to get connected to. And I think of there's a conference that we have in town called HustleCon. Did you go? Have you seen?
I've seen it.
You've seen it. Yeah. So like HustleCon went last year and go to this conference. And when I got there, everybody knows everybody. It's a lot of our like local entrepreneurship scene. We're all there. Speakers are talking to the crowd, like, hey, Carl from like the stage. And at one point I was like, man, they should have called this conference We All Already HustleCon. Like we all already got here. You know what I mean? It was $500 a ticket. It's a wonderful conference. And I'm like looking at this thing. And then I look over and there's like a Bay High kid. And I'm just like, oh, dang. And so this like strikes me. So I go over and I talk to this kid and I'm like, hey, dude. And I was like, not like trying to be offensive, but I was like, how did you get in? Like it's $500 a ticket. And he goes, oh, I couldn't afford a ticket, but I saw that if you volunteer as a greeter in the morning, you can come to the conference.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, that's great. And it kind of took me back and I was like, well, what are you learning? And he had like a notebook with a bunch of names written down. And he was writing down the names of all the entrepreneurs that he would met. And I was like, oh my God, like, what are you learning? And he was like, I've learned that Nebraska is a great place to be an entrepreneur. And so he was learning and absorbing that. And I think that's tough to do in a bigger city for a kid that's like a Bay High kid taking a shot, going to the Creighton's campus to this conference. And he was immersed into like the deepest part of our entrepreneurship community. And he was right there in the mix of it. And I thought that's what makes Nebraska special.
Yeah.
It's just, Nebraska is such a small town.
Yep.
Is the way that I love to kind of call it.
It is. And I mean, like when I was in North Carolina, I didn't realize how interesting it would be to people that I was from Nebraska because they had never met someone from Nebraska before. And as soon as I realized that whether they were from Maine or New York or New Mexico or wherever, they have the same mindset. We're like, oh, I'm from this other place. And so leaning into that, I mean, especially as a student, pro tip, if you're a student or know a student, like you can get by with all sorts of things and get in, doors will open for you. I mean, I was running our company for the first couple of years while I was still an undergrad, and the number of student opportunities that exist because people want young people.
Yep.
And whether they realize it or not, young people also want to be part of that because they want to explore and see, do I want to live here? Do I want to build a family here and a life here?
Right.
And I think that that's just so important, and every company and every employer should be thinking about that because it's not as complex as I think we present it to be of, oh my God, we got to think about retention, like build a relationship, encourage people to stay, give them opportunities, and you'll be surprised what happens.
I love that, building relationships. That's really what it boils down to is if you've got deep relationships, it makes it tough to leave a place. So, when we were talking back set earlier, and I was like, what are you learning? Like, what are some things that you're like learning right now? Where are you going to learn to get sharper? Like, what's making you better?
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of places. I mean, one, I'm talking to hundreds of people a week. I'm learning a lot about the inner workings of academics, arts, athletics. We can talk about athletics. I've been briefed on that enough. But I think the thing that I'm and where I'm going to learn is particularly in places where I'm not comfortable. And that's,
love that.
People will invite me to things. And I think the first thing that I think through is like, well, why would I go to that? Or, oh, I wouldn't naturally go to that. And so, I've told our team, like, I want to go everywhere and I want to talk to people, with whom I don't necessarily agree. Engineering is a whole other world to me. That is not my forte or skill set, but learning about the great things that are happening here. And I think that there's so much comfort once you have been discomforted in ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the good news is we can do that right here. And it's a great opportunity to do it.
I love that. And learn, you said you're meeting a ton of people. And so this next segment, I asked you who's somebody new, like who's someone kind of new in your orbit that, we've talked to a lot of people we've known since we were a kid, but who's somebody kind of new? And the name that you popped up was Jamie Williams. So we're going to see if we can get Jamie on the horn tonight. We're going to try to go 2 for 2 today. Jamie Williams, you there?
I am.
Hey, what's up, Jamie? You are on 93.7 The Ticket. This is your weekly Disrupt. I'm Mike Smith, and we're here with a Mr. Brent Comstock.
Oh, I heard of that guy.
Jamie, what's going on, man?
Not too much, man. The Ticket. Yeah, that's the spot. I like it.
The Ticket is the spot. And so the question I had for Brent was, what are you learning? Kind of who's pushing you? And who is somebody new that you've met that's inspiring? And so your name came up, and we wanted to just kind of give you a call and give you some airtime and a shout out to say thank you for being kind of a local legend and someone around here. So Jamie, for those you've been on the Ticket before, but for those that don't know, you maybe fill folks in with who you are a little bit.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I'm a double graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. I got my undergrad there in journalism, film, and radio. I have an MBA from there, and I grew up in a great area of the Quad Cities, Davenport, Iowa. Myself and my childhood buddy, Roger Craig. So had fun there. And then I was recruited by Dr. Tom Osborne to come and do some stuff at Memorial Stadium. And that turned out really good.
It didn't go too bad. That went pretty well for you.
Yes. And then I was very, very fortunate to be healthy and have enough brain cells to go and play in the league, in the NFL, for 12 years. And half of that was with the Houston Oilers. The other half was with the 49ers. And then I was recruited back to the University of Nebraska by Coach Osborne and had some good fun with him before he retired. And then I went on to start my own company out in on the East Coast, supporting the government in some ways.
Awesome. And so, you're local legend here. Obviously, one of the things that I have on this list is you also won a Super Bowl.
I did.
That's not something.
I will just say that the reason I'm a legend here is because of my time I spent at P.O. Pears. And yeah, a lot of people don't know that, but my group knows P.O. Pears. That's what, because I was always on the dance floor, man. So anyway.
Shout out P.O. Pears. That's throwback. I don't know if the guys in the studio here know what P.O. Pears. This was like Red 9 eventually. You guys know what Red 9 is, right? They've heard of Red 9.
Well, he's a Duke fan, so we don't get asked.
I can't even believe it. Jamie, you'd be devastated. They don't know what P.O. Pears up in here, dude. We're going to have to educate them. We're going to educate them a little bit on that. So
exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly.
That's awesome. So, Jamie, you've got a big love for Lincoln. You care a lot about this community as well.
Yes.
What excites you about where we're at as a town, where we're going as a program? What gets you excited?
Well, the fact is it's a college town, and I know a lot about the professors there. We got some good academic stuff. They definitely don't get in your way and they try to enhance you. We need to continue to grow that. It's again, the capital city, named after a great president. I like it. I mean, it's like we have a lot of international, just kind of eclectic stuff because of the campus, and I think the kids need that. They need to see the world bigger than the 7 blocks they grew up on. And, I like that. And then we have good athletics, as well. So in the Big Ten is a good brand. So I like that. And, my doctorate's in leadership, and I get an opportunity to help young people kind of see that, from an anecdotal perspective, and academic way.
I love that. Jamie, what's pushing you right now? Like, what's continuing to help you grow and kind of stay disruptive in your journey?
Well, I think, I have my own challenges. I'm always looking for another hill to climb. I'm enjoying growing my company that's supporting the Department of Defense and the intelligence community. But the bigger thing I get a lot of kick out of is helping young people, nudge them, because I was nudged. I was nudged big time, and I listened. And so anytime I could use my own experience with leadership, with being entrepreneurial, doing hard. A lot of kids still need to learn how to do hard, how to grind, how to be methodical. And then what is leadership? What universal truths can you put in your back pocket and keep you safe? That's what gets me going, is to be able to whisper in a kid's ear and tell them, listen, do this, don't do that, and you'll be all right.
I love that. There's so many of us are the product of that little bit of a nudge. Somebody who, we were headed down the wrong track. They gave us a little bump this way. We didn't know where to turn or what to do, and they gave us some advice or some perspective. And so that nudge can be critical as we're on our journey trying to make our way towards success in this world.
Come on. I got to tell the kids, they are the protagonists of their story, okay? And the protagonist always has to make a decision in conflict, in adversity. And that's how we watch you. That's why we follow the protagonist. What decision is he or she going to make? And that's the journey.
Love that. Well, we appreciate it. We appreciate you for taking a second out of your day to hop in on the ticket. This is the spot down here on 11th and O. Jamie, we appreciate you, brother. I got one last question for you. Who's your Super Bowl pick? Who are you picking this year?
This year? Oh my God, it is really tough. I think the Chiefs are going to work their way back in the game. I think I think Philly. I think Buffalo has a shot, obviously, to get there. It's kind of a toss-up right now because they're kind of, they're like the Big Ten. They're kind of beating up each other.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see who rises to the top. And then one other thing that I think is important because you tapped on leadership a little bit. I think that visionary, servant leadership, and transformational leadership, those are the ones to put in your back pocket. Do you have a vision, right? Can you transform something from what it was, right? And can you serve
I love
in
that.
an ethical way? That's a good one.
I love that. Jamie, we appreciate you, brother. Disruptive words from a disruptive man. Thanks so much for your time, brother. We really appreciate you.
And Brent's a good guy, so treat him well.
Hey, that's an endorsement where you heard it here. Brent's a good guy.
Thanks, Jamie.
All right, brother.
Take care, man.
That's awesome. No, it's very cool. It's really cool. It's got to be cool for you to hear from folks, from small town mayors, Super Bowl champions, folks like that. People really do believe in you and believe in what you're cooking up and just the leadership that you bring in. I know, I obviously, it's not a surprise. I personally endorsed your campaign, mostly because of my profile photo and it looked great. And I really wanted to see it up there with the roster of all your others. But you've had a lot of big folks endorse your campaign. He brought up Tom Osborne. Tom Osborne is somebody who's endorsed your campaign.
Yeah.
The mayor is someone who's endorsed your campaign. Like, you've had a lot of people step up and do that. And part of why I know that is true is because these are people I've seen you build relationships with, and you put time in and you put effort and energy in. And so speak to just that Nebraska work ethic and time, like that whole thing. Cause Jamie brought it up. Young kids got to know how to grind, work ethic. You've mentioned it. I just want you to speak to that a little.
Yeah. The work ethic mentality is what I think sets you apart from, do you, in a campaign world, do you outraise or do you outname? Like if you outwork the opposition, whoever they may be, you're putting yourself in a really good spot. And as you mentioned, we've got a wild endorsement slate, and I'm a big believer that endorsements help build credibility, especially given that I am on the spectrum of people that would typically run for office on the younger end. They help add that credibility. But we've got people from the left to the right to the middle to people who have said, I never have and never will again endorse a candidate, but I'm behind you. And that's because people care about the university and they care about young people. And they care about the fact that we need to have an institution that brings people, not just from Nebraska, but from other states, from around the world here, because that brings research, that brings money, that brings workforce, and then those jobs keep people here. So it's just been really interesting to connect with people in all sorts of ways, business leaders, sports leaders, coaches, people like Jamie, and I'm so grateful for their help.
You heard it here. We'll be back shortly. You're listening to 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike Smith, and your weekly Disrupt.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
It's game on at Elway Power Sports of Lincoln, Nebraska's premier power sports dealership. Score big with rebates up to $2,000 on the Kawasaki Nav, Kawasaki's first ever fully electric personal transportation vehicle designed for cruising the good life. Be the first to nav your neighborhood. Elway Power Sports of Lincoln has you covered all under one roof with a large selection of side-by-sides, ATVs, motorcycles, and personal watercraft at their 27th and I-80 location, where they can't wait to get you set up for football season.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more. There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. When it comes to concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction doesn't stall. They go for the takedown. As Nebraska's full-service concrete contractor, they stay in bounds, hold inside position, and never forfeit quality. Whether it's foundations, flatwork, or concrete coatings, they elevate performance and pin down results that win every time. Stevens & Smith Construction is a proud sponsor of Takedown Tuesdays on 93.7 The Ticket. Because when it's time to wrestle with concrete, Stevens & Smith Construction slams expectations.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Schwizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schwizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schwizo.com. That's schwisow.com. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
The disruption continues now. This is your weekly Disrupt with Mike Smith, live on 93.7 The Ticket.
Welcome back, Lincoln. We're down here on 11th and O. This is one of my favorite mill locations of all the mill locations. They've got an awesome spot here. The baristas are great. The vibes are great. You can see our radio station. You can come hang out with us. It's a really cool vibe down here.
It's the newest one too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, I think the one in Omaha might be more recent than this, but I just love that you can see it. Traffic's going. I just think it's fantastic. We were, part of the gig when you're out, running for border regions, doing the thing that you're doing, meeting people, shaking hands. You go to a lot of stuff, and I've seen you at a ton of events, ton of sporting events. I love going to sporting events too. We were just kind of bragging back, offline here a second ago about like how awesome Husker fans are, and just like the brand of the Nebraska fan. And I just think it's so special. I had a Bonnie Blackman. I'm sure she's going to listen. If she's not listening now, she's going to be listening to the recap. But I got to take her to a Washington when we played Washington. Shout out to our girls volleyball team. All we do is just bring the brooms.
Women win.
We just don't lose. It's awesome. It's awesome, and I love talking trash about it. But our girls are so sick. It's so good. But I got to bring Bonnie, and she got to experience it. And Penn State has great fans, great culture. But there's just something about Nebraska fans, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have grit, they have conviction, and they're willing to hang on through the tough and the wins. Right. And, I think the other piece of this is I think people think sports and they think football. And obviously, we've got the football program that everyone knows and has heard of and thought of, and legacy forward and legacy backwards. But, we've got a women's basketball team, a women's volleyball team, a men's basketball team, wrestling. The opportunities here, and the cool thing about that grit and that opportunity is it's athletics focused, but you also see that in the arts with the things that happen at the lead. You see that in academics with the hunger that faculty have, and they all rally around those different pieces, right? Yep. They could easily say, well, I'm faculty, so I ignore the other things, or I'm athletics, so I ignore the other things. And there's so many intersections. I just think it's fascinating. At the Sheldon, there's the Go Big Red exhibit. I think it's still up, maybe it's down now, but that was centered around sports and art and the intersection of those two. Mm-hmm. And that's how we make a strong community, a strong university. And it's on display every day.
I love it. And your passion for our community, not just Lincoln, but the state, I know your commitment to small towns all across the state is real. Where can people find you? Where can they follow your journey? How can they kind of stay up to date with the stuff that you got cooking?
Yeah. So our website is comstockforregent.com. We're on social media. You can find us on Facebook and on LinkedIn, and then find us in the community. We're doing events. You can sign up on the website. We go to neighborhood associations. We go to front porches. We're going to stop doing that as the weather gets a little cooler.
Yep.
But we're going everywhere, and we've made this commitment that even when people don't agree with us necessarily on a particular issue or topic, we go there too. Yep. And because there is something at the university and the university touches every county. 52,000 jobs associated with the university, has a $6 billion annual economic impact in the state. And so comstockforregent.com is the best way to get connected, and hope to see you out there in the community.
We love that. We appreciate you hopping in, hanging out with us.
Me.
Absolutely. Thanks for hanging out with us. You're listening to Your Weekly Disrupt. This is 93.7 The Ticket. I'm Mike Smith. We'll catch you next week.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday